What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Michael back again with another video. Sorry, it's been a minute since my last video. I've been sick battling this cold, so I haven't been really able to update or, make any videos, just trying to get better. But, it's the end of October right now, so I wanted to make a video just updating about my portfolio, Kraken Robotics, and just a few other items that are going on right now in the stock market and, just in general. So we're going to dive right into it. First, we'll start off with my portfolio and see how that's doing. Currently, my portfolio is at $366,282. I feel like I'm hitting a new all-time high every week. Every week that I sign on to my account, it's hitting a new all-time high, which is fantastic. I think, we all love getting richer by the day, but I also feel, a part of me feels like there will be some sort of pullback here shortly. To be honest, we are entering November. November, December are usually pretty good months for the stock market, so I could be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. That just means I'm getting richer by the day. But, I'm also prepared for a pullback if it was to happen. So as far as my portfolio goes, we've had a lot of earnings over the last couple of weeks, and there hasn't been any major ones in my portfolio that I've really been tracking. But I know in the next couple of weeks, Palantir and Robinhood will be announcing earnings, and I feel like those are going to be very good for this coming up quarter. I believe they're reporting for Q3. As far as other companies go, there's been earnings reports for Tesla. Me personally, I don't believe that Tesla earning report was good in any way. I felt like it was a really bad report, but for whatever reason, the stock market loved it and it hasn't really gone down. Am I mad about it? No, I think it is what it is, but I think revenues declined by like 40%, which I thought was crazy. I think it dropped by 40%, and then I think that was year over year. I'm not too sure. I guess I should look. But anyways, so here's my portfolio. These are the stocks that I currently have. We have Palantir, Robinhood reporting earnings here shortly, like I just mentioned. I haven't really been adding much. I added a few things. I believe I added a little bit of BM&R and Kraken Robotics. But as far as anything else, I haven't really added much. I don't add to these top positions just because they've kind of ran away from me at this point. Like, I'm not buying Palantir at $200 a share. The last time I bought Palantir, it was trading at $35 a share. Even then, I still thought it was a little bit too expensive, but $200 a share is too rich for my blood. But I am definitely happy with the gains that I have seen, and it's the same with Robinhood. As far as the stock market goes, it keeps hitting new record highs each and every single week. We see news reports of the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones hitting new record highs each and every single week, which is great. But once again, I feel like there will be some sort of slight pullback here in the near future, if not 2025, maybe sometime in 2026. But once again, most of these pullbacks, they don't last long. They usually last maybe a month, if that, if we're lucky. But usually they end up, getting bought up and, running away with it. So let's talk about Kraken Robotics. Kraken Robotics over the last couple of weeks has hit $5 a share, which I just thought was, first of all, I thought it was fascinating because there wasn't that much news out about Kraken Robotics. There was that news about the little, event that they did, the REPMUS event where people were deploying their sonar aperture system, which is cool, but nothing too crazy as far as like major news goes. But as far as this article that I was reading, Kraken Robotics reported Q2 2025 revenue of 26.4 million, which was up 16% year over year. So that's fantastic, with gross margins expanding to 56%. I love margins that are above 40%. Any company that's producing over 40% margins, I'm all for it. Sign me up. The company reaffirmed 2025 guidance of $120 to $135 million in revenue, which is, and $26 to $34 million in EBITDA, implying strong second half acceleration. I mentioned this in my previous video This is what they've been guiding for the year of 2025, which I think is fantastic for a company that's, in this market cap that it's currently at. I think we're trading at, I think it was 2 billion last time I checked. Yeah. So we have a market cap right here. You can see it of 1.97 billion. So about 2 billion dollars as far as the market cap goes. So still a very small company, still a lot of room to grow. It's up 138% this year. But I was reading this and, it's just good signs for Kraken Robotics as we continue to move through 2025 and get ready for 2026. I think there's still a lot ahead for this company that's, we don't know yet. And there's just still a lot of room to grow. There was one thing that also came up with Kraken Robotics that I saw sometime this week, and it just made me want to pause a little bit as far as building the position. Not necessarily stop completely, but it was something that I saw on Reddit, and it was talking about Andruil pursuing in-house battery development. So we've all been, hyped about Kraken Robotics because they have this partnership with Andruil and them creating their own batteries, or Kraken providing batteries to Andruil. And we thought, for the most part, it could possibly, and I say that in quotations, it could possibly be an acquisition for Andruil to get Kraken Robotics. But I read this article and it was just talking about how Andruil is pursuing in-house battery development. So I took a look at their website just to see what positions there are for, in-house battery development. And there are a few positions here that could be a headwind for Kraken Robotics. If Andruil decides to build their batteries in-house, they have no use for Kraken Robotics. And in this article, or in this post that the person mentioned, they mentioned how, Andruil can just get Kraken Robotics batteries, reverse engineer it, and build their own batteries. And I thought that was, that was kind of a cause of concern. And I think as investors, the thing that we have to do is we don't want to live in an echo chamber. We want to hear the good and the bad, whether it's going to benefit the company or not. It's always good to hear both sides of the argument. And I think for me personally, that's what's made me pretty successful as far as my investing career, is just being able to listen to both sides of the argument and making a decision for myself. So as far as these positions go, these are all positions that could be a headwind for Kraken Robotics, because if Andruil starts developing their own batteries in-house, they have absolutely no use for Kraken Robotics batteries. Is it a good thing for Andruil? It's a good thing. Is it a bad thing for Kraken? Yeah, I think if Andruil starts developing their own batteries in-house, they're going to lose a major part of their revenue coming from Andruil in developing these batteries. Because as far as we know, we don't know of any other large companies or any other private companies that are buying batteries from Kraken Robotics. So it's just something to keep in mind. I wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. If you want to check out the article for yourself, it was just posted a day ago. It was posted by Loud Exchange on Reddit. The title is called Andruil Pursuing In-House Battery Development. I'm not going to read it all, but as far as what it says, the job listing shows it is building a battery team is, the battery systems engineer, senior battery systems engineer. There's two positions of that. And I cross-checked this by looking on their website, and we can see that those positions are right here as far as, building their batteries in-house goes. So we should all keep that in mind. Obviously, invest wisely. Don't throw all your money into one position, and do as I say, not as I do. As you guys know, my portfolio consists heavily of Palantir, which is well over 50% of my portfolio. But there was a time where Palantir was only 15% of my portfolio, and it's just grown so much that it's become a very large part of my portfolio. So just keep that in mind when you are investing into Kraken, that, Andruil, the one that we are hoping would continue to fund the revenue for Kraken is building an in-house battery team. All right, and the last thing I wanted to talk about is gold and silver. I don't know how you guys feel about gold and silver. I do have a position in gold and silver. I think it's about 5% of my total net worth. I do keep some of my money in gold and silver for many reasons. I think gold and silver mostly is a hedge against the US dollar. A lot of people like to talk down on gold and silver, but me personally, I think it is a very good hedge against the US dollar. As we can see, as far as, what gold has done, we'll just look at GLD. Year to date, it's up 50% on the dot. That beats the S&P 500 by a mile. And it's a very good hedge because if gold is going up and silver is going up consistently, me personally, I think it's telling us that the US dollar is becoming less and less valuable. Let's look at the US debt clock, and we will see that the United States debt has gone to $38 trillion. $38 trillion. Let me say that again one more time for you guys. $38 trillion. I personally don't know how we pay this off. I don't know what they do to get rid of this debt. The US dollar as a world reserve currency is continuing to become less and less beneficial to a lot of countries. We see that Russia, China, and India, the three other biggest nations in the world, are continuing to build their reserves in gold and silver. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to gold and silver, the biggest thing that comes with gold and silver is a lot of people, I don't know if you guys knew about this, but there's a thing called Basel III. And it's basically an international regulatory framework on how assets are classified. And when Basel III went into effect, I think this is why, me personally, why gold and silver has made this historic run. When Basel III went into effect, they classified gold as a tier one asset. So you can basically use it as collateral and, basically kind of borrow against it. And Basel III, they basically call it Basel III is the end game. And I think the reason it's the end game is because all these nations around the world are running up debt like crazy. So there has to be a solution to this. And this is why you guys should look into Basel III. This is why these nations are buying so much gold and silver, is because they're getting reclassified. Gold and silver is being reclassified. And what I hear, the stories that I've read, is that the US is going to reclassify what we have in gold reserves and, reclassify the amount to a higher amount. I think currently now it's around $42 per troy ounce or somewhere around there. And they're going to reclassify it to be higher. And it's crazy to me because Donald Trump was talking about going to Fort Knox and looking at our gold reserves. And if you guys know, when he was saying that, he was very hyped about talking about our gold reserves and all of this. Then it just ended. Like, they just stopped talking about it. They didn't bring it up anymore. It just died. Like, and it was very odd to me because it's like, me personally, I honestly believe that the gold is not there. I think the gold hasn't been there for many decades now. And I think they realized that the gold wasn't there. So that's why they stopped talking about it. Even Elon was talking about doing a live stream in Fort Knox to show the American people the gold reserves that we have. And they just stopped talking about it. And I think the reason this is shot up so much is because I personally, this is all hypothetical, all my own opinion. There's no facts supporting this, but I think the United States of America has been rebuying the gold for Fort Knox because I don't believe it's there. So I think that's why the gold has been on this steady climb to new record highs since that announcement was made and they stopped talking about it. But anyways, guys, this video has been going on for 15 minutes now, so I will cut this video here and leave you guys with some food for thought. So I would think about, establishing a position in gold and silver. Doesn't have to be big. 5 to 10% I think is very good. I think gold will continue to set new record highs come 2026. I personally think gold will hit 5,000, if not more, come 2026. Silver will hit anywhere from $60 to $75 per ounce come 2026, and we will mark this post and keep updating this channel on what we see and what is continuing to come to pass. But yeah, guys, so that's my video for October. Thank you for you guys' patience. I appreciate everybody who's subscribed to my channel. I'm hoping to continue to build this channel. Hopefully it continues to get better and the information that I provide to you guys is somewhat beneficial. And thank you all for subscribing, and talk to you guys later.